Well, well, well. Tennessee Titan fans, rejoice. Looks like Robert Saleh is going to get a much-deserved second chance as a head coach in this league. The Tennessee Titans, who had already fired their head coach, the Tennessee Titans franchise is in disarray. I still say they should never have fired Mike Vrabel, but nevertheless, maybe they will also redeem themselves with this hire of now Robert Saleh. And when you look at this year's playoffs, the theme has been defense wins championships, and I think that is going to ring true, and I think that's why we're going to see two of the best defensive teams be in the Super Bowl this season. And maybe one of them's going to miss it because of their quarterback. But nevertheless, New England has played some pretty good defense in these playoffs. Breaking news. Robert Saleh has been promoted to the Tennessee Titans head coach position. And I think it's a good thing. G Sports Nation, let's talk about it. Welcome, sports fans and Dolphin fans alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of the G Sports Nation, where we preach sports. And if you like this video, don't forget at the end to please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member or subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? This is going to be the place for all things sports. Now let's talk facts. Robert Saleh. What else can we say? Everybody knew Robert Saleh was going to be a hot commodity this year. And one of the reasons why Robert Saleh is a hot commodity is because of the job that Robert Saleh has done in San Francisco. I mean, the Saleh redemption story is incredible. I mean, when you look at the injuries, Williams, Bosa, Bethune, Matos, others, when you look at the injuries that he had on defense, I mean, it is mind-blowing that they were actually able to win 12 games. They won 12 games and was actually able to get to the second round of the playoffs until they ran into the juggernaut of this year's playoffs, which of course is the Seattle Seahawks. They just didn't have enough because they suffered a lot of injuries on offense also. But nevertheless, Kyle Shanahan on offense did a great job. And then Robert Saleh, man, he stitched that thing together and did a great job for the San Francisco 49ers defensively. I mean, when you look at how he ranked with all of those injuries, I know it was kind of a mixed bag in the grand scheme of things, but he still did an incredible job. Points allowed, 13th in the NFL. Incredible. Yards allowed, 8th in the league. I mean, passing yards, allowed 22nd. They struggled with turnovers, but and sacks, they were 32nd. But some of that can be attributed to the injuries. But nevertheless, they were still able to do a great job and really turned it on towards the end. And so the Robert Saleh redemption story, it's incredible. And also, we understand that he used to be the head coach for the New York Jets. In 2021, he was 4-13. 2022, 7-10. 23, 7-10. 2024, 2-3, got fired. But understand this, man, the New York Jets is one of the it is a poorly ran organization. So I believe because of that, a lot of people are giving Robert Saleh a pass. So, in his redemption story that he's got a second chance, I mean, he's going to have to understand, though, he's tying himself to Cam Ward. The Cleveland Browns wanted Robert Saleh extremely bad, too, but he wouldn't even return their call, from what my understanding is. Now, me, I wouldn't have picked Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders, nor would I pick the defense in Cleveland or pick the defense in Tennessee over the already powerful defense in Cleveland. Jim Schwartz is over there, and I don't know how Saleh I don't even know or think he want to deal with that, because maybe he was burned by the Jets, who was a poorly ran organization. Well, there's another poorly ran organization. It's the Cleveland Browns. Man, guys had about 4 or 5 quarterbacks over there this past season. I mean, just people sabotaging the Shedeur Sanders and just all kinds of stuff. And so maybe Robert Saleh didn't want a part of that. But, you know, Robert Saleh, he brings a certain level of toughness to a team. And so I think he's going to bring a certain level of toughness to the Tennessee Titans, which is what they need. And they reported this over here on CBS Sports. Let's check it out.
Story on Monday night out of the NFL. The Titans are finalizing a deal to make Robert Saleh their new head coach. Saleh was the defensive coordinator in San Francisco this past season. He was 20-36 as head coach of the Jets from 2021 to 2024. He was fired 5 games into his 4th season in New York, looking to get it right in Nashville. Back here with 2-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden and BMAC.
Yep.
Robert Saleh to the Tennessee Titans. Your initial reaction is what?
Well, I like the fit for both sides. When you look at what didn't go right there for Robert Saleh in New York, there was a lot that was circulating around him that led to a disappointing opportunity there in New York. And heck, they still haven't gotten things right within that organization. But then when you look at the Tennessee Titans, they kind of attacked this situation differently, Hakeem, than what they did previously. Remember when they brought in Brian Callahan to be the head coach, he was more of an offensive-minded coach, and of course that didn't work out. So I think they kind of going back to what they did with Mike Vrabel when they hired him, being more of a defensive-oriented coach and trying to set that foundation, get that foundation started on the defensive side, and then, of course, you know, find quality offensive staffers, particularly the OC, to help develop Cam Ward. And when you look at what he's done in terms of just the structure, I think they believe that Robert Saleh can be that piece that they need to create that successful winning-like structure in the organization, something they've been missing for quite some time.
Yeah, that's going to be key, right? Because you got a defensive mind-headed coach in Robert Saleh trying to develop Cam Ward, right, in year 2. You remember in the preseason, Cam Ward said our offense was mid,
Yep.
and it made headlines, and they could never really get going. Well, it was worse than mid all season. They finished 30th in points per game, less than 17 points per game. When you talk about developing him, what do they need to do with Cam Ward? They really have to go get more pieces because it's not just Cam Ward.
Well, they got to go get an offensive coordinator who's had experience with successful offensive play in the National Football League, who also has experience working with the quarterback. Now, when you look at the vacancies that are still available, there are a slew of opportunities, right, that have to be figured out. So if I'm Robert Saleh, I got to look to see who is available, who is a guy that I trust, not only to get the most out of our offense, but to get the most out of our quarterback. Because in the National Football League, when you don't have quarterback production, it feels like you have to drive 150 yards to score. Forget the 100 yards. It's 150 because it's harder. It's a struggle. And we've seen that throughout the National Football League with teams that are very, very good and teams that are very, very bad. It usually starts or stops with the inability to get the most out of your quarterback. And we've seen some flashes from Cam Ward. I understand it was a very, very difficult year because of the lack of protection and just not having talent around him. But we've seen flashes of him doing some pretty good things. And that's something that you can build upon if you get the right coach in place to coach him.
Do you like the hire of Robert Saleh over Matt Nagy, and how do you grade the hire for the Tennessee Titans?
A lot of people were saying that it seems that Matt Nagy was going to be a shoo-in, and the Tennessee Titans shocked everybody.
I like the hire, and I believe the Tennessee Titans valued Robert Saleh more so than any other coach they interviewed, because if you look at this process for Tennessee, the Arizona Cardinals are right there as well. I think Arizona requested a second interview for Robert Saleh. So it's basically between Arizona and Tennessee for Robert Saleh. So if you look at what he did, he accepted the Tennessee Titan job, and I think that was more so of him trusting and believing in Cam Ward than not knowing what the quarterback situation would be in Arizona with Kyler Murray.
And I would not want to be the head coach of Kyler Murray. No, thank you. No, thank you.
What they would do moving forward. So for Tennessee, I like it because I felt like what didn't go right in New York with the Jets for Robert Saleh was more so about what was surrounding him than him as a coach. So this is a second opportunity. Let's see, can he right some of his wrongs for what didn't happen in New York and get things rolling with Tennessee, because clearly, I really feel like when they fired Vrabel, that was a mistake, and now we're seeing that no question that was a mistake.
Too.
So they're trying to correct their wrongs as well.
So you're going to give it like a B+?
Yeah, I'll give it a B+.
Okay.
I'll give it a B.
There we go.
B+.
Jets, going to see if it'll work out for him here.
Yeah.
Because it didn't work out for the Jets. So now you're thinking as a Titans fan, why is it going to work out for us? Well, you got to hope that maybe the retread works for Tennessee with Robert Saleh. They have the 4th overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft. They've been mocked to take Reuben Bain Jr., who just played in the national championship for Miami.
Yeah. I think it's a great pickup for the Tennessee Titans. I really do. I think it's a great pickup for the Tennessee Titans. I think Saleh is going to bring a certain amount of toughness to the team, a certain amount of accountability. But he's also going to have to understand something. He has now tied himself to Cam Ward. And they better figure out sooner than later. And I don't think there is no such thing to figure out. They drafted him. I'm pretty sure they're going to want him at least for, the entirety of that contract. And so Robert Saleh's got to make this thing successful very fast. And so I really believe his success is going to hinge upon who does he get at the OC position. And I saw some articles earlier that I thought was real funny, that there were some people saying that he should go and get Mike McDaniel. Boy, people are crazy. How ironic would that be? But a lot of people are saying it, but you never know. Mike McDaniel, with all these coaching openings, Mike McDaniel may get another opportunity to be a head coach. But if he doesn't, well, maybe him and Robert Saleh would be a good match. Maybe they would. Miami Dolphin fans, sound off in the comments. NFL fans, y'all tell me what you think. Everybody, like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Until the next time, God bless G Sports Nation, where we preach sports. Peace.